There's a moment, a single defining moment, that separates the people who live extraordinary lives from the ones who just watch those lives from the sidelines. And that moment isn't about talent. It isn't about luck. It isn't about who your family is or where you grew up. That moment is the instant you decide, deep in your gut, that you are worth something, that you are capable, that no one, and I mean absolutely no one, is coming to save you because you don't need saving. You are already enough. You are already it. And the ancient Stoics figured this out over 2,000 years ago. They called it something we've nearly forgotten in the modern world. Stay with me because what you're about to hear might completely change the way you see yourself forever. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man on earth. He commanded armies, governed an empire, and held the fate of millions in his hands. And yet every single morning, before the sun rose and the demands of the day began crashing down on him, he sat alone and wrote to himself, not to impress anyone, not to post it somewhere, just to remind himself of one thing, who he was. He wrote in his private journal, words that weren't meant for the world, words like a man talking himself back into his own power. He didn't wait for someone to believe in him. He believed in himself first. That's not arrogance. That's Stoicism. And there's a massive difference between the two. See, most people have been taught a lie. They've been told that confidence is something you earn after you succeed, that you have to prove yourself before you're allowed to carry yourself like you matter. But the Stoics flipped that completely. They said the inner work comes first. The identity comes first. You decide who you are, and then the world responds to that decision. Epictetus, who was born a slave, a man who owned literally nothing, walked through life with more dignity than kings. Because inside himself, he had already decided. He had already claimed his identity. No chains could take that from him. No master, no law, nothing. That internal declaration of self-worth was his freedom, long before any external circumstances changed. This is the practice. Acting as if. Not faking it, not pretending. Acting as if, meaning you align your behavior with the person you have decided to become. You stop shrinking. You stop apologizing for taking up space. You stop waiting for permission to be great. When you walk into a room, you walk in like you belong there, because you do. Not because you're better than everyone else in some ego-driven way, but because you've made peace with your own value. You've stopped being your own worst enemy. You've stopped sitting in the bleachers of your own life. The Stoics had a concept called the Inner Citadel. Imagine a fortress, thick walls, unshakable ground. That's your mind. That's your identity. And everything that happens on the outside, the criticism, the setbacks, the people who doubt you, the failures that knock you flat, none of it can touch what's inside that fortress unless you let it in. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Most people live their entire lives handing the keys of that fortress to other people, to their boss, to their critics, to strangers on the internet. And then they wonder why they feel weak, why they feel lost, why they never seem to get ahead. Here's the truth that nobody talks about enough. The version of you that acts with confidence, with purpose, with zero apology, that version isn't some future you that you have to work years to become. That version is already inside you right now. It's just buried under years of other people's opinions, under the fear of judgment, under the habit of playing small because playing small felt safer. But safe has never built anything worth having. Safe has never moved the needle. Safe is just another word for stuck. Think about the last time you held back, the last time you had an idea and stayed quiet, the last time you walked into a room and made yourself invisible. What were you afraid of? That someone wouldn't like you? That you might fail? That people would laugh? The Stoics would ask you, and this is important, whose opinion are you actually afraid of? Is that person wiser than you? Are they living better than you? Or are they just louder? Because noise is not the same as truth. Criticism from people who aren't building anything is not feedback. It's noise. And you don't have to let noise shake your foundation. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, said something that has echoed through centuries. He said that well-being is attained little by little, and nevertheless is no little thing. That means the daily practice matters. Every single day you wake up and you make the choice again. You act as if you are the best, not because you've arrived, not because you're perfect, but because that standard pulls you forward. That belief becomes your compass, and over time, the person you've been acting like starts to become the person you actually are. That's not magic. That's the most disciplined, most powerful form of self-creation there is. You've got one shot at this life. Not a rehearsal, not a rough draft. This is the real thing, right now, today. The Stoics understood that better than anyone. Memento Mori, remember that you will die. Not as a dark thought, but as a liberating one. Because if your time is limited, then wasting it being afraid of what other people think is the real tragedy. The real loss isn't failing. The real loss is never trying, never standing tall, never deciding that you are worth the effort. So here's what I want you to do. From this moment forward, carry yourself differently. Not louder, not more aggressive, just more decided, more grounded. Like a man who already knows his worth and doesn't need the world to confirm it. That's Stoicism. That's the philosophy that built emperors and freed slaves and created legacies that are still being talked about 2,000 years later. And it's available to you right now, in this moment, for free. If this hits something in you today, drop a comment below and tell me the one thing you've been holding back on, the thing you've been afraid to go all in on. I want to hear it. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message right now, share this video with them. Don't let them sit another day inside a story that's too small for who they really are. Share it, because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for someone you care about is simply show them that another way of thinking is possible.